Okay, today because we have today will be the last class about CCP, Chinese Communist Party. We'll cover there several times because there are other things we're going to cover. So we're so happy we have Stefan from Anhui, from China. So it's wonderful. We have Elaine from Taiwan, and we have Joanna.
Not Johanna. There is no H in my name.
Okay, Joanna.
Yes.
Joanna from Germany, beautiful ladies. So we're going to talk about, this is one of my different view from Taiwan, because this is so sad, from Taiwan, from China, and from Western Europe, right? We have a different view, we'll look at this thing. So I would like to have this engaging statement. I'm going to, because we have done this, so this is the finale, the last time we cover this. CCP. I will start, I will just do a little bit, and then I'm going to ask you questions. You know, there's a big war. It's United States and collaborating with the Western Europe and Asia. They want to against China because the rise in China. The 5G was banned because Huawei. They want to ban 5G because they know, Americans know they are really losing the battle. They cannot compete in 5G, and 5G is the base for everything. In the future, all the artificial intelligence or the thing, so they ban that. But why do they ban Apple? This is Apple. The same thing, if you have Huawei who can have a backdoor, how about Apple? Are using Apple? The same thing. So what's wrong with, for instance, FG? You use Instagram, you use Facebook, you use Twitter, YouTube, all the information with US. So we are fine with that. So what's the difference? What is the difference? So I think Angela Merkel is still trying to fight for that, and still not yet decided, and this determines, okay, that is CCP. So what Americans saying that I am anti-CCP. Chinese Communist Party is the one who dominate the people in China. They are being very brutal, and there's against human rights. So we are always the friends, this is American from America, we are always the friends of Chinese people. All these years, for instance, Tsinghua University was founded by Americans, by the Gunzi Peikwan. This is how it started. We are never the enemies of China, but we are the enemies of CCP, because this is tyranny. It's like Third Reich, it's like Hitler, like fascists, and this is a poison to the whole world. So we have to stop it. Is that true? Okay, let's start with the CCP. So, Stefan, you have to share with some of us. You speak a little bit loud so we can hear you. And this is from China. This is how he was brought up from his childhood.
I just share some simple history of the CCP.
You speak a little bit louder so we can hear you.
Okay. About the CCP, it is founded on 1921.
Okay, I'm going to
Just
closer
For
so
the
we can hear. Okay.
And actually, it is basic on the Marxism.
Marxist.
Marxist, yeah. And it is the first time in 1921. It is the first time for China, for the Republic of China, the national
But 1921 is still Republic of China, right?
no, sorry, not the Republic of China, but it's
1921, yes. 1949年才有。
Yeah, I know. I mean, 1921 is the Chinese
Communist Party
Party, yeah.
was formed.
Yeah, the first time
Yes.
they have a conference.
Yes,
A national conference.
in Shanghai.
Yeah. And
I was there. I went to the place. Now it's a monument. You can see.
yeah, and 3 years later, the CCP have the first cooperation with the Kuomintang.
KMT, right?
KMT.
KMT is Kuomintang, which is the opposition party. We have DPP, Democratic Progress in Taiwan. The other KMT is Kuomintang, which is opposition party, and that was CCP and KMT was good friends. They were one party. They collaborate. When this 1921, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And after this year, the Japanese during the China, they would have some war with the Japanese.
Yes.
Japan. And
The Second World War II.
yeah, after second.
Japan has invaded
okay,
China.
We're in Second World War now. Okay.
Yeah, we're in
Yeah, no, because like I
1921.
was still in 1921, which is
We
First
go
World
to
War.
the war is 90. When was that? 40 something, 41.
Second World War.
Second World War.
39.
During the
I
end,
think.
uh,
Or at least there was the time when Hitler.
Yeah. But then it's probably okay. Early 40s probably. Early
Yeah.
40s, yes.
and 1938, the CCP activity, the Mao Zedong is a Chinese China first president, and actually this time to confirm that his leadership and positive in China. And,
When was that? 1939.
38.
1938.
Yeah.
1938.
Yeah,
1938. Okay. So this is time that Mao has took over the dominant leadership
yeah.
of CCP, right?
Yeah.
So this before that, there's a lot of struggle. It's not sure, but now this is confirmed.
Yeah.
Mao is Chairman Mao, right?
Yeah. Because that is have first civil war between the CCP and the KMT.
Yeah. KMT, and this is war here.
Yeah.
KMT. Okay, continue, please.
And that the 1938 is the first time to the Mao Zedong propose the cessation of the Marx.
Oh, so let's see. Marxists with a China flavor. China always do that. They adopt and they adapt. They change a little bit. So it's like economy right now. This is capitalism with a Chinese character. So this is Marxism with a Chinese character, right? 1938. So the China always adopt, then adapt to the Chinese local needs, right? Okay.
And then the China is founded in 1948.
Yeah.
49.
Yes. This is the time, as I mentioned. This is on the 1st of October in Tiananmen. It's Jin Cheng said, 中华人民共和国成立了. That's a very most famous. He said the Chinese People's Republic of China has been established, and that is the moment. 1949.
And professor said the Marx in the 1982 the Deng Xiaoping.
Oh, okay. You do it very fast. Okay, 1982. What happened?
1882 the Deng Xiaoping that his voice prime minister, and he the first time to propose to building the society system with a Chinese character.
Okay, so this is a Deng. Deng, how do you spell Deng? D-E-N-G?
Then D-E-N-T.
Okay, then this is now. This time is communism with a Chinese character. Communism. Now it's capitalism with a Chinese character, right?
Yeah.
OK， 有中国特色的社会主义。
Yeah.
Okay.
Socialism with Chinese character.
All right, all right. Okay, capitalism with the Chinese character. Okay, continue. This is how you look at the history, Chinese character. Okay, you fast forward. Okay.
Not capital.
Socialist.
Socialist.
Okay, Chinese socialism with the Chinese character, right?
Yeah, socialist.
Socialist. Can you please explain what is socialism? How it is different from communism? It's a big question. 哎，这个在中国要学得很厉害的。That's your a cup of tea. 社会主义跟共产主义有什么不一样？一个是近期，一个是远期。
Sorry, I didn't know this.
Okay, well, you check on that. You're being trained. You're in Marxist. You should know that. We should. Okay. One is an ultimate goal, and the other is probably socialism. I may be wrong. This is one of the journey, and communism is the final journey. What is communism? Everyone contribute what we can, and we receive whatever we need. 对啊，尽其所能的贡献，然后拿到你自己所需。Only one need, right? That's communism. It's beautiful. At the end of it's a utopia. At that time, and actually, there's no war. Everybody is happy, and it's like commune. For instance, in Israel, there's still some taboos. People doing that in Israel. Some of the occupied territories still do that, so people can try that. 人民公社. That's the way. In Stalin, they also do that, right? But then they took over all the private property. Then you have a commune system. You work, you contribute whatever you can, and you take whatever you need, and that's peaceful. And that is the ultimate goal. There are different ways of leading that. Capitalism probably one of the ways to lead to that final goal. But China from day one has never given up socialism, because that is the goal, right? China is never capitalism,
Yeah.
correct?
About the two systems, actually you can call it is the capital, but actually the system is the society.
Is it?
The Hong Kong is still under the government.
China.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's continue. I'm not going to interrupt you. I'm going to ask your opinions from both, from the West and from China, from Taiwan also. Okay, continue. That is your history, brief history of CCP, right? Any questions on that? On this brief history? So basically, 1938 is the time that Mao really took over. Then it's a social. Mao Zedong is Mao, Chairman Mao. 1938, he has established. So basically, there are two stages. This is a stage of Chinese flavored Marxism with the Chinese character. So these are two important years. Another one is 1982. Deng Xiaoping, he said he changed a little bit. Now it's socialism. It's no longer Marxism. It's socialism with Chinese character, right? And that is with these two different dates. Now we continue, even today. Today is a socialism with a Chinese character. We can talk about Xi Jinping later, but that's okay. So any questions or anything you would like to talk about? Questions? Anything? Do you agree or sharp questions? And that's why we have the discussion. You challenge each other, and hopefully the truth will come out.
It's history.
It's history. You don't
So
challenge history.
No.
You don't challenge history. Of course, history is written by someone who's. I'm going to challenge that. For instance, please think. So basically, actually, I'm going to challenge one thing. Actually, it does not mean this is what I thought, just challenge. Actually, what you're saying that, actually what CCP, Chinese Communist Party, has only one goal, is to sustain its power, to grab power, to maintain its power, no matter what. No matter what you call, it doesn't matter. They do not have a principled belief. They don't have a philosophy. You can change whatever, whenever it's necessary to your needs. That's what I'm challenging. Do you agree? That's basically, Communist CCP is adaptable. It changes itself. From the good side is you can change among themselves. From bad side, from the so-called negative side is they do not have a firm belief. They change. The only purpose for CCP is they want to be in power, they have the control, they want to maintain this forever. Do you agree?
Because the Chinese government always want to China keep the stability. So that the stability is the first position, and the economic or education or other things is the second or third.
Okay, so basically you're saying that Chinese Communist Party, they always maintain the flexibility, more flexibility. They are not flexibility, flexible. No.
Stability.
Huh?
Stability.
Stability, okay, stability is the most important thing, right? They want to have, that's the most important thing, stability. And that is why in China, do you know, in China, there's a defense budget. The internal control budget is higher, much higher than the defense budget. They spend more money in control their own people than the defense budget. 维稳的这个支出比everybody knows 比国防支出要高得很多 right? And that's stability.
Wait, so they spend more money on like trying to control their own citizens than
Exactly.
Like you know the Hong Kong the last year.
Yeah.
There are some conflict in
Yeah.
in Hong Kong, but in this year you didn't see because because this year the junior 30 the Chinese government proposed a new
National security law.
national
Yeah.
law.
Okay, this is why, you know what, I can elaborate a little bit. Stability means everything to Chinese government, and that is true. It is true. You can Google, you can find the results. They spend much more resources in maintaining the stability of domestics than the defense budget. Defense budget are really big, but this budget is much higher than the defense budget.
So it's basically to fight their own citizens.
Yeah, to control their own citizens. Wow. Do you have a wow from Taiwan also? That is true. So now let's go back a little bit. You talk about Hong Kong. Let's go back a little bit about Hong Kong. It just happened in front of our own eyes. Did I send you a little mobile clip? If I didn't, I'll send you later.
Yeah, I have.
You have. Yeah. I haven't. Please join the. Yeah, please join our group. We'll invite you to the group now. You cannot. Yeah. It's in the group line. Can you take a look? 你有没有看？有看到吗？很短。
No, I'm not
Okay, please have a look at this very short video, very 30 seconds too. This is in June 2019.
But we can't look at it anymore.
You cannot look at it anymore.
Unable to.
Okay, I will send you again from my. Okay, I'll send you again later.
But I watched it last time.
Yeah. I was there. I was there personally, and actually there are millions of people. Actually, they talk about 1 million, 2 million people. There are only 7 million people in Hong Kong. Just imagine 1 million or 2 million people coming out of the streets to show their anger, and that was because of extradition law. Extradition. Because there are certain laws in Hong Kong, there's extradition. There's a possibility that you will be extradited from Hong Kong to China. That triggered 反送中啊, this extradition law. That triggered the riots, and I was there. I will send you the clip again. It's from my mobile. I was there, and it's so real. I was in the metro, in the subway, and it's the people wearing black shirts like me. They're just ordinary people, young people, and it is because people are used to the freedom. And once this is, and they are horrified. And one day I may be sent to China. So that was the riot, and to make the story short, at the end of the day, the Hong Kong government has agreed to retrieve that law. But this is, but the China government cannot accept that. So what they do, they have a national security law. Certain, you have a terrorism, you have a government involvement, you have secession, you have subversion of certain things. You have to. So when that law, and then you can put 10 years sentence, over 20-year sentence, and actually there are people being sentenced for 15 years already. The young people like you and me. So that stopped everything. Now Hong Kong is very safe. No riots. Probably sometimes 100, 200 people, but compared to 1 million, that's nothing. So that's been quieted down. So that is one very strong stability means everything. If I don't stop this, what happens if it's become contagious? In Shenzhen, for instance, started and they will be out of control, right? And that is why it is so important. Stability is everything. It is my control of the country, and that is why explains why the expenses. Just imagine 1.4 billion people to control. So why does not happen in Germany? And for in Germany, you couldn't believe that, right? Why you want to control your people, right? This is freedom. So what's the difference?
We are a democracy.
Yeah.
That's a difference.
Yes. Okay, that's the difference.
But I think the biggest difference is that we're a democracy. So
Yeah.
We have the right to say whatever we want, basically. So the right of free speech. And I mean, we do have protests and stuff, and then sometimes the police also has to.
Yeah. You have actual right.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
The bald heads, they shave their head. Nazi.
I mean,
Yeah.
thing is, that's like a little bit more difficult actually, because this topic about Nazis in Germany is really sensitive.
It's a
because of
taboo.
the
You
history,
really.
obviously.
Yeah.
So there are certain regulations about stating your mind in that case. So
Yeah.
for example, we had the Holocaust, which
Yeah.
is the whole
6 million
thing
Jewish
about
people.
concentration camps.
Yeah.
Jewish people during the Second World War, and that's, for example, something you're not allowed to deny. So
Yeah.
basically, if you're denying that, then that's a crime. You can actually get filed for that, go to jail, whatever.
Yeah.
But everything else, you can say whatever you want to about our government, and it's like, for us, we do have a lot more rights about saying whatever we want to.
Yeah.
And there are certain things that are not allowed, obviously, during protests to become violent or to like destroy.
Yeah. Peaceful
shops and
protests.
stuff, but peaceful protests.
There's
are
constitutional rights, human rights, right? Try that in China. You try to do something in Tiananmen. Within seconds, you show
Yeah,
on
I heard
something.
about
Within seconds, you'll be gone.
Yeah, I heard about the girl who was doing Fridays for Future in China. And that was really interesting. Like, she was basically taken to the police a few times already, and she's like, she's 16 or something.
Yeah.
So she's really
Where's she
young.
from?
China.
From China.
Yeah.
In China right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay.
And she's one of the only ones protesting in front of a government building.
Yeah.
Against climate change and everything.
Yeah.
And no, like in the beginning, it was a few more people, but at some point they didn't come anymore. So.
Yeah. Because you'll be. Look at what happened in China. If you're being national security law, and that is considered as subversion. That's subversion. If you are NGO, you are connected with the foreign powers, you may put into jail for 10, 15 years. You start to think twice, right? And after a while, this is what I think. After a while, people are brainwashed. After a while, people are very afraid. They will not say anything, right? I understand that because Taiwan was like that. It's just 中国国民党, 中国共产党, they are the same. We were like that. You are certain things you don't say that in the school. In the school, there's certain you have a group discussion, and there's a special agent that will check what kind of a study group, because that's how communist started, right? So, okay. My question is, do you think this is a question for all of you. You have a right. You can have a freedom of speech. So the control may not be that effective. You have to deal with the different voices. It's a lot of trouble, and they are guaranteed to have a right to protest. It's constitutionally given right. In China, it's also constitutionally given. You look at the Chinese constitution. The freedom of religion, freedom of speech is guaranteed. Please check with the constitution. Constitution does not mean it is so by doing that, it's a little bit more problem. You have to handle that. You have to handle the case. Democracy. Democracy is not very efficient. It's sometimes looks chaotic. But in the same time, you do not have to spend so much money because for Western people and for Taiwan, we couldn't believe that. We have to control. You look at the Taiwanese policemen, right? They are here. They are your servants, right? You scold them. They say, "Oh, I'm sorry." They will do. I'll call my parliament member. 我跟立法委员讲, so they are 熟了. They don't. That is democracy, right? So the control cost is much less. You don't have to, because people have their own free will. You suppress it, and you have to suppress it even more. The expensive, of course, there's a lot of technology. You don't do anything in Weibo or something. You're asking for trouble. They will be delete your account. You'll be with facial recognition, everything. They are controlling. But all this at cost. So at the end of the day, probably it's much smarter to give some freedoms. The management cost is lower, right? Do you agree? You agree, of course. Elaine, what do you think? Do you think which way is better? You lead this in French. We don't have a French student here, but in some classes we do. French is totally ungovernable. These people they just protest every single day, everything. They complain everything. It's totally unbelievable. They have the gilet jaune. There's a yellow vest for 3 years now. Still going on. So do you think they should be suppressed so which way do you think is better and why? Yeah, you mean let me put it the way. Law and order. You want to have order. Law is for order. They all breach the law. Even for the Hong Kong protests. There are certain, and Joanna just said there are certain things you cannot. You have peaceful demonstration, right? The one I sent to you, millions of people, that's peaceful. But sometimes they're extreme. So in China, in Hong Kong, they're 勇武派跟建制派. They're different. Riots people. So there are certain extent, right? Rule of law. There's a law and order. You can break that, or you can. And China is break that. You're against the law and everything. For China, they're saying that I'm doing everything legally. I changed the law, national security law, and you just abide by the law. Otherwise, I'm going to. And that's why China can control 1.4 billion people. Otherwise, how are you going to just imagine? China is like in Taiwan. We have two DPP, KMT every day, the riots, and we have because of the past 20 years, we have not moved an inch because it's different. So that's a difficult question. We haven't done anything. In the same time, China, the economy has grown like this. Just look at the income. Our income, for you guys, your income is about the same of 20 years ago, or even 30 years ago. In Taiwan, it's true. Look at what has happened to China's income, right? You have efficient control, and that's how you'll be done. Look at the post-COVID-19. Look at the whole world is stopped, and unfortunately in Germany the rate has going up, shoot up. Germany has been the best controlled COVID-19 countries. Now it shoot up. In France, they starting to lock down again, the ban and everything. But look at China. The economy has picked up, and that is a superiority of a controlled economy versus totally chaotic Western free democracy. And I'm proving with facts, with the numbers. So are you willing to sacrifice a little bit of personal freedom for the betterment of the whole society? And at the end, I will benefit as well. What do you think?
I think it's true because like right now in Germany, there were like for the first lockdown and everything, there were a lot of protests also about wearing masks and stuff, which I personally cannot relate to.
Yeah.
Because it's stupid. Because there are people who actually are more endangered. For example, people who already have previous illness and are disabled or something. So for those people, basically, you should at least wear a mask. It's not like you have to wear a mask all the time. You can like not have to wear. You don't have to wear a mask at home. It's just like when you go into public, more crowded places, it makes sense to wear one, especially right now. And that's something that I think here in Taiwan worked perfectly. People got that, and I think it's a difference between whether you're more self-censored, like self-concerned country or not. So in most Western countries, the individual is more important than the group, and in most Asian countries, the group is more important than the individual. And that's something I've noticed here in Taiwan, for example, too. I think it's the same in China. That the individual is not as valuable than the whole group in itself. And I think that's kind of the reason why it didn't really work out with the regulations about coronavirus in all the Western countries.
Okay, so you think that is the culture rather than the very strong government control, right?
I think it's more about the culture.
Yeah, probably that's true. So what do you think? So what I'm saying is a very difficult question. Very difficult question. Well, I'm talking about two different systems. Very difficult question about two different systems. You can see that you have a control. Actually, at the end of the day, the system is which one is better. You have tightly controlled, efficient, and that's what made China today. You sacrifice a little bit of freedom, so what? You know, there are certain taboos I don't touch, but it's fine, right? If the country is going great, I will benefit. Or you have freedom in Taiwan, but your salary has remained stable in the past 30 years. Look at what happened to China. So are you willing to go to China's way for the progress? What do you think? It's a difficult question.
For now, I think I would prefer the Taiwan.
Yeah.
Because I think to say what I really want to say.
Yes.
And, I can express my own opinion.
Yes.
On the internet or in the in the life.
Yes.
I think it's important.
Yes. More important than money.
Yeah.
Ooh.
For now, yeah. And because as we can see a lot of like the news when the China government they don't want to their citizens to know some facts, they will delete all the comments.
Yeah,
and
yes,
all
yes.
the news from
Yes.
the internet, like Weibo.
Right.
Yeah. So we can search a little bit of information we can search on the internet. Yeah. They control all the information.
Yes.
Yeah, and so like we avoid to the fake news. Yeah, so if the government they control the social media or what else, and we can really know
Yeah.
the truth.
Okay. Okay.
So for now, I think the Taiwan the environment, and I would prefer.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.